Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us live from Houston at the International Quilt Show. Wonderful. It's been a great day today. It's been a little bit rainy as we've been setting up. If you're joining us, again, I'm Nathan Erznosnik with the Grace Company. We are going to be talking about TrueCut and doing a short presentation. So thanks for those of you who are logged on. We decided we were going to jump the gun. We have a bunch going on tomorrow, a bunch going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but tonight's preview night, and I'll tell you, you might be thinking, I wish I was there. If you were saying that, you would be right. I had a chance to walk the show, to see all of the amazing quilts that are out there. So with that, it's been fantastic. The one quilt that we had a sponsorship in was traditional, and I'll tell you, we'll look at posting some pictures for that for those that are with us as well. It's done by hand, but boy, it is fun, it's festive, and again, hopefully we'll look and see if we can capture a few things and post those on socials. For those that are thinking, I wish I could be there that couldn't, that's why we're doing part of these live demonstrations, is to bring a little bit from what is down here in Houston up there. It looks like we got a couple things. I'm going to kind of come join you and welcome several people. So we have Nadia. Thank you for joining us. Looks like you're from Colorado Springs. Thanks for hopping on right now. Tammy and Gary. Thanks, Tammy and Gary, for joining us tonight. I'm hoping things are going well. I'm thinking it's, about 5:30 over there in Colorado? It's about 6:30 here. We have a few more hours tonight at the show. Pat, thanks for joining us, Pat. I'm going to get here. Yes, Dora, thank you for being with us out of Alabama. Wonderful. Nadia. Noreen from Tampa. Welcome from Tampa. It's getting a little bit later. Hopefully dinner was good tonight. So we had a good lunch today with our team. We got a lot of people here, about 17 people from Graceco. Maybe what we'll do with our audience is when you join us tomorrow, I'm going to show you around. We have several different booths, so it's really fun. Roseanne, we're going to go back to welcoming some people. Hi, Roseanne. Thanks for saying hello. Gwen, thanks for joining us again here in Houston. Let me kind of do this a little bit. We got Veronica. Thanks, Veronica, for joining us. This is fun. We just decided randomly, non-planned to go live, reaching out, and Brian's like, hey, we've got a lot of people hopping on right now. So there we go. Peggy. Hello, Peggy from Ohio. Thanks for being with us. Just so you know, if you're joining us right now, tomorrow we'll be doing a few things. I think, Devin, I'm going to reach out to you since we're going to have a live audience. We're going to do some giveaways, and I would like to be able to do that for those that are joining us live as well. So if you're with us now, we'll be streaming from 11 o'clock Central to 5 o'clock Central. And so hopefully you can jump on. If you're at work, maybe you can take during a break and come and say hi to us. But let's reach out, Bryant, and say hi to a few more people if we have some over saying hi. There we go. We got Nadia saying, yes, it's 5:39. There we go. Hello from Linda. Looks like Heber City. I'm hearing you're getting a lot of snow. Maybe it hasn't made over the mountain, but my wife, we live in Draper in the area, and she's like, it has been snowing all day. Give me a quick what's up. Maybe you have 1 inch, maybe you have 5. It's good for our ski resorts that we have in Utah, so glad to hear that. Judy, thanks for being with us. Tricia from Illinois, thank you for being with us again today. I'm going to kind of let that go, Bryant, as you keep on bringing them up. I'm going to just do I'm going to maybe just give you a quick chat on a few things. Here behind me, we also have a wonderful take and make that we'll show you a little bit on tomorrow. If you're in the region, if you're coming to Houston, let me reach out and say stop by the booth. We have a free gift if you're going to come for a demonstration. We also have a take and make, and we have a gorgeous fall panel. If you do some demonstrations on the machine, we're giving you a panel if you're here in Houston joining us. So we have got a lot going on. We have a TrueCut booth. We have our Grace Cutie booth. If you're a Cutie owner, you know how nice and what that's done to allow you to finish more quilts in your home. We also have our professional long arm booths. We have our new 16X series here at the show. We have our 19X Elite, our 21X Elite, and yes, we are demonstrating computer automation as well. So again, thanks for joining us. With this, I'm going to go ahead and start a demonstration. So if you're in the area, I'm going to welcome and say thanks to our crowd for being here as well. I'm going to talk about and we're going to do a little demonstration on TrueCut. And with TrueCut, they are on sale for 20% off. So if this is something that you see and you're at home, you can take advantage of this as well. Devin, can I have you do me a favor? If there's a question that comes up, maybe you can relay that to me based on what we see on the screen. That would be wonderful. That way we can interact with everybody at home as we're interacting with everybody. Hi, come on in as we're doing a demonstration on the TrueCut Cutting System. We're going to start. What usually when we're cutting tends to be some of the most difficult things. Come on in. We got people joining us here at the Houston booth doing a live demonstration. I always ask the audience this because one of the biggest questions we get asked is, well, why? And I have a fun story. But first let me ask, give me a number in the chat. If you're here, how many rotary cutters do you already have at home? 1, 2, 3. I'm saying more than that. We're getting more than that. So usually it's 3, 4. And the reason is I think some people said color. I like color. Others are, I'm trying to find potentially that cutter that's going to solve some big challenges. Pain in my wrist or pain in my hand, pain in my shoulders. And we're going to talk a little about that. But about 13 years ago, our owner's like, hey, let's get into cutting. I'm like, Jim, I don't know what, there we go. We have so many cutters, I am not sure why we want to go create a new one. And he grabbed me by the shoulders and he said, Nathan, looked me in the eyes, and he said, do not go just create a cutter, go find out what the biggest challenges are and solve them. That's what Grace Company does. Usually customers come to us time and time and time again. We're like, oh, we don't have a solution. We don't have a solution. Well, we decided to make one. And the TrueCut Cutting System makes cutting easier, safer, and more accurate. So we're just going to start with something like this ruler, and I'm going to go ahead and have you fill that edge. So it's a raised edge. So if you're joining me, let's do a little bit of a close-up on this. So what we end up with is we have a raised edge, and that means that the edge of the ruler is actually twice as thick as a normal ruler. Well, also, look at all those holes. Everybody always wants to know, why do we have all the holes? I always tease them if we kind of step back here, take a look. I always kind of cheat and say, oh, it's because when I get hot, I can fan myself. And I say, okay, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. And really what we find out is if you take your cutter, it's going to give you a better edge to run up against. It's also safer because it's twice as thick, so you're not going to hop up and over. You might ask yourself, do you have a friend that cut themselves? Somebody does, you've nicked it, and that's dangerous. And so also we injection mold them, so they're a lot more durable. That way, if we drop them, they're not going to chip or break. So we injection mold them again, so they're incredibly durable. So something like just the ruler will make cutting, again, more accurate. It's going to make it easier because we can hold and mark through those holes, and it's also going to make things safer for us because it's going to give us that taller edge. Well, let's talk about the cutter. I'm just going to show our audience this really quick. Let's zoom in on this. I'm going to talk about the straight cutter and what this is. Let's go ahead and zoom back out. I want to go ahead and show you this. So if you look at this, it's a straight cutter. Okay, and you're looking at that. There you go. I'm going to have you hold that for a minute. So it's quite different, isn't it? And why and how. And let me show everybody so you'll be able to watch this. All right, let's go ahead and zoom back. I'm going to show you what happens when we take a straight cutter and we go to cut. What we do is we don't hold it clear back here. We are going to hold it, and what we find, if you can see, we put pressure, and what we end up with is we try to get up and over that blade in order to cut. And what that does is that causes stress in my arm, my wrists, and in my fingers. Well, what we did is we took the blade and we put it underneath, and this allows us, I'm going to just use this one together, we can actually put this in the palm of my hands and it transfers the pressure right into my palm. Now let me show you how actually ergonomic this is. I can actually take an open hand. I tell people don't cut like this, but I can take my hand and I can actually push forward. We have had letter after letter after letter come into us with quilters that had pain and struggles, and some of them couldn't actually even cut their own fabrics because of the problems they were having. They would ask a friend or a son or something to do so. So this shape really ended up solving their challenges, and we get letters saying, thank you for allowing me to get back to what I love most, which is my quilting, because now they're able to cut. Now, the one fun thing with this as well is you can put your own name in there, so you can put a picture of your cat or your dog. People also want to know it is good for left and right-handed. And one of the great things about this is it has this quick release blade that makes it very easy to change the blade. However, here is the secret sauce. This cutter, you'll notice, I added a guide. Now, this does come with the cutter, but what this does is this locks on to the track, and what this does is it keeps it together from the beginning to the very end. So I'm going to show our audience here. So it keeps it all the way down. And why is that? When we get farther and farther out, this is where we tend to slide and we slip and we move all over. So by putting this on this edge, what this allows us to do is to take that fabric, go ahead, and we're going to take this guide. That guide lifts up and over that edge, and now we can just cut straight through that with much, much less effort. And we talk about making cutting easier, safer, and more accurate. And so that's one of the really key things that we do, or that we have with the ergonomic cutter. We have other things like circle cutters, and I'm just going to show you this. I'm going to quickly take, you're here in our audience, I want you to see on this ruler we also have our True Grips, which you might have heard. I want to have you feel that for me. See how that keeps that? Now I want you to go ahead, kind of put a little pressure on that. I want you to see if you can move that around. You can see how that helps stay in place. So those True Grips help keep the rulers in place as well. Devin, while we're doing this, would you mind grabbing me a quilter's combo really quick so I can show that off? Looks like we have a question. I'm going to take a look. It says, is this really live? It is live right now. We've got people in the audience here in Houston, and I am live at in Houston. It looks like we're at 6:50 p.m. right around that, right? That means it's about 4:50 in the Pacific. It looks like it's 7:50 p.m. also as well. Any more questions that were coming up on this? Now we're good? Okay. We're going to show you. I was going to demonstrate really quick our circle cutter. And I love this. Let's go ahead and do a zoom in on this. Thanks. We'll kind of show everybody this here just in a moment as well. But I'm going to highlight this. This is a circle cutter. Now look at how wide that base is. And the reason we do this is when the fabric is here and we're cutting around, an open circle cutter, usually what happens is that fabric bunches and we want to have to hold it, and that's dangerous. So what this does is this actually, starting off or on, actually can flatten our fabric. It does work with 2 inches to 12.5. So you can do any size circle. I always like to joke, if anybody here has done any kind of circle cutting, have you done any at all? A little bit. You probably had to go find a cup or a bowl or a plate, and then you marked it, and then what you did is using scissors, or did you try with a rotary cutter? Yeah. A little one. Oh, so you had a small one to make it a little bit easier to go around. I also know that there are circle kind of rotary mats that make it a little bit easier as well. But I'm going to show you this. So I like to joke because this is how easy. So I'm going to say, look at me in the eyes here. Oh, hi. I'm just kidding. If you're with me and you're joining us again live, this is how this works. So this has a center mark. Right here, what this does is this creates the down, kind of the point, and that sticks into the mat to help keep it from moving. It's a little bit hard to see there, but there's a pin that drops. This is the blade. There is a safety. I'm going to make sure that's off. We're going to put it down. Now, I'm right-handed, so what I'm going to do is take my left hand and hold it in place. My right hand I'm going to put over, and again, if you watch me out my eyes here really quick, so I'm going to do closed eyes. Boom, there we go. We've got that. You can do on and off circles as well. So the circle cutter has really allowed several customers to start varying and doing so many different things that you normally wouldn't do because we didn't want to take the time to cut all the circles out. Show you a couple last items. Again, these are all on sale at 20% off. This is our sharpener. So this sharpens 28, 45, and 60 millimeter blades. So you can see there's a little dish where they sit in there. And then you'll notice that we also have the stones on the top. So those that are joining us, we have diamond grit stones So how have people honed forever? With a stone. I always like to talk about Wile E. Coyote, and they have the spinning the wheel and he's sharpening his axe. Well, what we do is we drop the blade in, it sits in the center, this closes, we're going to lock it, it power supply. What we're going to do is push this button, which will spin it against those stones in order to bring it back to a near factory edge. So we do have the electric, we have manual, and then I'm just going to kind of bring this back. This is the most common kit. So what this includes is the ergonomic cutter. It includes the large 6.5 by 24.5 inch ruler, which is really the farther we get away, the harder it is to keep it. And then it has those little true grips, which keep the ruler in place. Again, this is on sale. So I want to say we've got this on sale. If you're with us or you're here, we're doing this at $49.95. Which is a little bit more of a special as well. So if you're joining us online, know that you can visit graceframe.com to take advantage of those sales. It looks like we have a question here. Let's take it. Do you have a left-handed cutter? Well, one of the things that's great is this actually does work for left-handed. If I actually take out the blade, we can actually just with little effort swap this now to be a left-handed cutter. So there we go. I just now made that a left-handed cutter. So now if I'm left-handed, I can use the same cutter. If I'm right-handed, again, it's very easy. It does come set up for right-handed, but as a question, it works perfect for left and right-handed cutters. The straight cutter, you just flip up and down. On this one, we do switch the sides that make that work ideally for those left-handed cutters. Any other questions coming through at all? All right, this looks like we got another one. Smallest circle is 2 inches. We have a 2-inch mark on here, so the smallest we can do is 2. The largest is 12.5 inches. So again, 2 to 12.5 is what we have on this one. And that's adjusted by simply taking the center knob, and we can move that up and in order to set the size of the circle. So we can take that out and in, and then you can just choose the measurement, tighten that down. That's the center. You can see that has that sharp point on it right there. There you go. All right, any other questions? Let's go ahead. So the show price is, let's see if we can go grab the price chart really quick. I'll tell you, I'm going to do a quick calculation because 40 times. This is on sale for $32, normally $40 for the circle cutter. And this kit, like I said, if you're here at the show, is 65 times, is going to be, we're doing 50s. Online, this will be 52. Here at the show, you get an additional discount for being in place in person with us. So. Yep. So this is normally about 66. It's on sale for $49.95 on this one. And then the sharpener, I'll give you a special deal. Normally this is $79. Sale price on this, I think we have a show special. For those that are here, sorry. Thanks if you're joining us live. I'm doing some on-the-spot calculation. 64. 64 will be the online price. And if you're here, come talk to us because we're going to give you a little bit of a better deal if you're in person here at Houston. So that's what we've got on this one. We do have a linear sharpener as well. We'll let you take this as a price list with you so you can take that with you as well. And thanks everybody again. We got another question here. So how many layers of cotton can you cut at once? I'll answer 2 questions. If it is a circle cutter, you can cut 2 layers of denim or 4 layers of cotton. If you're talking the rotary cutter, I'm going to say whatever you're used to cutting, you can cut that plus more. And what we have found is when we're cutting and we're moving through this, customers often say when they're cutting, they're like, oh, I didn't have to put any pressure down. You do, but because the palm actually is where the pressure is created, we find that it actually increases your cutting power. So you either can use less effort to cut, or you can cut through more layers with less effort is what we talk about with the ergonomic cutter. So I've cut 16 to 20. I have not done that for kits because, to be honest with you, I have never pieced a quilt. I have finished many quilts, never pieced one. In fact, fact, I like to use those whole cloths and do things. I like computer automation. So there we go. That's kind of what we have. If we're going live, let me reach out also and see if you have any other questions. We'll post those up there. And then do you have any other questions for me as well? Would you mind grabbing me the linear sharpener? We'll do a quick demonstration. And thanks for being with us. I wasn't quite prepared. I grabbed a couple quick items because we're doing this all day tomorrow. So we said, let's go live with those people that are joining us. So no, that's great. So we'll do a quick demonstration. This is the linear sharpener. All right, we'll come back. Let's see. It says, will the circle cutter cut faux leather? I cannot answer that question because I've not. Devin says it cuts faux fur, so we assume it can cut the faux leather. It will cut anything that a rotary blade or rotary cutter can cut, so it should do a pretty good job on that. So I'm going to show you. This is the linear sharpener, and I'm going to show you up close. What we do is we have a stone that runs all the way. So I'm going to show the audience here. We're going to go ahead and put this down. So it does have the same diamond grit stone that runs the whole length. This one, we open the blade, so we do not take the blade out. The electric sharpener, we do take the blade out and put it in. This one, we leave it in. We're going to open it. We're going to go push it down and back, and that actually spins the blade against the stone. And then we're going to flip it around. And the reason we do this is we only have one stone on one side. And what we want to do is we want to sharpen the right side and the left side. So we're going to turn it around. We're going to do the same amount of times, and we're going to do this a few times in order to hone the blade back into that near factory edge. So this is great if you don't want to take the blade out. However, several of you might have a small stack of blades because you are hoping one day we will find a sharpener that will be able to bring those all back to life. And so this particular one is the one that you can use 2 or 3 or 4 at a time, and it will help kind of bring those all back to. Now, think about this. The thing I love to talk about is, I'm guessing as you were cutting, and you're like, I only have 3 more cuts, and your blade is dull. And we're still going, and you forgot to go to the store, or I didn't want to spend the $7. And I love to tell people, you now never have to cut with a dull blade. That's what TrueCut does. So the lineup gives you sharpeners, amazing rulers and cutters and circle cutters, double-sided mats, and much, much more that you can take a look at, making cutting easier, safer, and more accurate. So thanks for joining us. If you've got a couple more questions, we'll see if we can take... Oh, yeah, let's go ahead and turn that around. We'll do a little bit of talking. And we appreciate you from joining us as well. We're going to go ahead and show our booth area, and that's going to be awesome. I'll kind of go stand out here for just a minute with all those that are with us. So if you're here, this is Grace, and I'm going to say we're going to pan all the way down, and we'll pan all the way across here. So we've got... a large booth space. Brian, keep it down there on that side for a second. Let me just talk about this. What you're seeing down here on the left is our cutie area. So you can see starting at the very, very far left, we have a cutie frame all the way down there. The cutie frames are on sale at $689. So all the way down there, middle, you'll see our finesse thread. You'll see a domestic machine on that cutie frame. And then we have that 16 Elite. As we continue to move across here, we have just in the center, we have all the long arms. So we end up with the 19 there. You can see we have several team members. There's Corey. Other side is Allegra. You can see people over there taking a look. That's the 21 Elite that is on our side of that. You'll see as we continue to go down, we have more 21s and 19s. The question is, the blade for the circle cutter, how is it installed? We'll come back to that, and I'll just show you. It pops right out. It is one specific to the circle cutter. As we continue down, on the right, there's Jennifer Davies. She's our new customer experience manager that's kind of come in with us. So she helps us with social media. Far side, you can see CJ, and there are all of the TrueCut products as well. So we have several different booths doing several things. Let's go back to the other camera, and I can just talk to you, and we'll do a close-up here in a minute on how to change this blade really quick. Thank you so much for being with us, okay? If you have questions, we do have Jennifer right over here in this booth as well. And then, Devin, do you mind if you grab me a True Grip? I'm going to help. Let's go ahead and give her one of those as a gift as well. So let's go ahead and zoom back in. I'm going to show you how this is done. So right here on the side, you go ahead and zoom. There we go. There you go. So what we can do is we would open this up. That exposes the blade. There actually is a cover that comes with it that you can put on, but it actually just pops right out. So this blade comes with a special protective cap, and the reason we have that protective cap is so that we can just push it down in. This then closes, which is what creates the cutting. The safety is what would keep that from depressing. So if it goes in a drawer or in a bag, that way you can keep that safe again. It opens up. There is the blade. We simply would pop that blade out again. There is a nice little cover that goes over that, so you're going to want to keep that so you don't have to worry about touching that blade when it gets changed. This blade, the questions being asked is what size? It's 18 millimeters. Yeah, it's a really small. So that's an 18 millimeter blade. It says, how do you sharpen that blade? This blade is non-sharpenable. This one we do not sharpen. You just buy a replacement, okay? And that one you can find on the website, calling in here at the booth if you're joining with us as well. We also have those. Great. Oh, and here we go. I'm going to give you one of those. Thank you. Those are for the back of your rulers. Yeah, you're going to love using those. Yeah, thanks for being with us today. Okay, any other questions? I think we're probably going to wrap it up. I think we've been here for about a half hour. Thank you for everybody that has joined us. This is live at the International Quilt Festival here in Houston, downtown Houston in the George R. Brown Convention Center. Phenomenal quilts. If you're in the area, I know you're going to be excited to be here. I had a chance to go and browse those when we were here. We had a live actually last Friday where we were doing the business so with other quilt dealers. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And again, we've got several things on sale on the site. We're trying to keep the show special running. Feel free also to call in. That would be tomorrow since we're closed in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I wish you the best of evenings. So thanks for again joining us live here at the International Quilt Festival in Houston. I'm Nathan Erznosnik with the Grace Company, and we will see you tomorrow.